right, whenever you're ready.
Hello all. Before I present today, I just want to give a preface that I'm presenting to you all as if you're Nathan and Nicole. This is a financial plan for their retirement and life goals. So today I'll be running through your current situation, goals and recommendations, next steps for after the second meeting, and why to choose me as your financial planner. So Nathan and Nicole, I lay down a quick intro to your life and your salary from your jobs. So Nathan, you're 38 years old, you're a pharmacist, your yearly salary is $90,000. I've written down your group term life policy of $250,000, and you currently save and contribute to your 401k, equaling up to about $33,000, and a Roth account equaling up to $66,000. Nicole, you're currently 34 years old, working as a mental health counselor, and your group term life policy is $200,000. You currently contribute to your 401k, with your employer matching 50% of your contribution, which totals as $11,400. And your Roth account that you've been contributing to for the past 3 years equals out to $18,000. And for your 3 children, Jacob, Layla, and Nathan, all 4, 7, and 9 years old, you have created 529 accounts for each of them, and started contributing to them as well. Here are the amounts that you have started to contribute to, and individually, Jacob himself has been receiving child support since you guys are not married yet and you have children outside of your relationship. The child support Jacob receives contributes to his 529 account currently, and he also has daycare expenses of $100 a week. Within your household, you own your cars, their total value equaling up to $45,000. You have 13 years left on your mortgage, which you are now paying about a 5% interest on and $876 a month. Nathan, you're currently paying $25,000 in alimony to your previous spouse, and together you are concerned about maintaining your current lifestyle until your deaths. So with the information that you've given to me, I've created a budget and compared your expenses to average expenses to create this. You currently take home about $15,000 a month, and minus your expenses, your surplus is about $33,000 a month, which totals up to $39,000 annually. And taking this number, we will try to fund your goals. So your first goal was to buy a vacation home in Orlando, Florida. So here is one of the properties that you've all expressed that you would like to buy, with its value totaling at $465,000. Using your surplus, if you contribute that amount to a savings account in over 5 years, you'll be able to create a down payment of $195,000 as a down payment. And from there, I've looked at some numbers in totaling the rest of the value of the house, where you will be able to apply for a 30-year fixed term loan for 5% interest which is the same as the mortgage interest that you are paying now. And that will equal out to $2,135 a month. And I suggest that when you're not in Orlando, Florida, that you guys can rent this house out. That will continue to pay for the monthly mortgage. And your second goal was to get married, since you both are just cohabitating at the moment. So I suggest taking your savings account of $84,000 and subtracting your marriage, your wedding budget from that. Subtracting your wedding budget from that, and you'll still have plenty of savings to continue to grow over time. Your third goal of funding your college expenses for your kids. I've created a spreadsheet where taking your first contribution at the top of each table and spreading out payments, contributions into spreading them out into yearly contributions. A creative way that most people have expressed that they save for these 529 plans would be to contribute as much as the children have the amount that the children have turned in the next year, and times that by 1,000. So in the next year, if you were to follow that path, in the next year, Nathan Jr. would you would contribute $10,000 to Nathan Jr.'s 529 account. But for this specific plan, I chose to divide that in half. So your contribution that you made this year was $9,000, and dividing that in half and increasing that amount by $500 every year to get you to $67,500 for Nathan Jr., which will cover more than half of his college expenses. And doing the same for your other children. And doing the same for Layla, which is Nathan's other child. Jacob is in a different situation where he receives child support from his father. And we'll take that child support after he turns 5. We'll take $10,000 from the $15,000 and contribute it to your 529 plan, so you're not spending money out of your own budget. And he will leave home with $141,800 in his 529 account, which will be well over what he will need for college. And the remaining of his child support that he receives throughout the years can be saved in the savings account for him. With the numbers that I've ran and the plan and goals that you've all expressed that you would like to accomplish, you have an 84% likelihood of funding all of those goals, which is really great, and a high chance of your funds lasting through your lifetimes. And for next steps, after this meeting, I suggest that you all think about estate planning, tax planning, and healthcare. With estate planning, you will want to think more about setting up beneficiaries and how you want to distribute your assets to your children and or other places. And funeral expenses, which you well over have enough to cover your funeral expenses, but just to think more closely into how you want to go about doing that. Tax planning, which the 529 plans are tax advantage savings accounts. You'll want to think more about how buying a summer home and your home currently, how that affects your tax planning in the future. And your healthcare insurance, how your current healthcare is allocated with your children and you, and then how we will want to look into more additional healthcare later on in life, and maybe even long-term health care. And that is all that I have. Oh, in choosing Mabry Wealth Management, we are a fiduciary. We are a fiduciary RIA business, and I specifically have relatable circumstances to the family where I came from, a blended family. So that aspect of your life is, I guess, relatable, and I can relate to that aspect of your life. You want to think, and then thinking of my age and how young I am, that wouldn't affect me in being your planner, because that gives me more of a innovative processes that I can contribute to your plans, and different development structures that I can bring to you coming straight out of school. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Who has a question for Kyla?
For the 5.9 plan for Jacob, why is it so heavily funded? Because there's a 10% penalty. Like, why did you choose to overfund his instead of the earliest child's?
So his contributions comes from his father's child support payments. So it's like more, so I guess it's like still split into two different households, though it wasn't coming from their budget specifically. So that's just how I allocated it.
Okay, they didn't get the vacation home in Orlando, because you just put one vacation home. What would their budget be? Say like that house fell.
Yeah, so around $400,000.
All right, thank you so much.